Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remastered. If you guys did not watch the previous episode or any of the most recent episodes, please go back and do so. I'm not going to do a recap really. I think we should just jump right back in. Archer doesn't answer. Maybe he feels that he doesn't need to, or maybe he doesn't have an answer for her. However, it would help if I actually knew what the fuck the, I don't remember what it was that Saber asked him, but oh well. My fingers feel numb. My broken fingers tell me that they can't hold a sword anymore. The Red Knight doesn't move. I might have stabbed him through the chest, but he's a servant, so he could easily counterattack. But his arms remain at his sides and show no sign of movement. I know what that means, of course. I fix my gaze on him and declare victory. The Red Knight closes his eyes once and admits. He stares into the distance. His murmur sounds like it was meant to convince himself. Oh, I got a Steam achievement. I pull out the sword. The moment my projected sword touches the air, it disperses into dust as if it never existed. I finally look around, my tension drained. What a wreck. My lacerations look like they're on the mend, but in some places they're turning into a reddish-black color. Archer said something about it being Saber's sheath, but I wonder how it decides what to heal first. It heals the cuts right away, but broken bones seem to be a lower priority. That or it just, takes longer. Oh. I hear hurried footsteps coming from the west side of the hall in the direction Lancer disappeared off to. Someone's coming. She appears on the second-story terrace, jumps down to the hall floor without hesitating, and hugs herself from the pain of the fall.
Shirou,
Tosaka raises her voice to match the distress with which she arrived. Lancer rescued her, just as promised. Plus, I'm honestly amazed to see Tosaka alive and well. She can't decide if she wants to check if I'm okay, or be upset at Archer for getting injured. The Red Knight's words are sarcastic, but I can only hear warmth behind them. After giving Tosaka a look, he turns on his heel, as if to leave the stage. He isn't even going to say goodbye to Tosaka? He's heavily wounded, and he doesn't have a master. Is he going to disappear here and return to where the other heroic spirits come? Oh shit. It all happened in an instant. A lethal attack. Just as I began to relax around Tosaka, multiple swords rain down. The torrent of blades come down to skewer me as I stand around spacing out. Oh, they skewer somebody. I hit the ground. Someone pushes me and I fall backwards onto some rubble. I was shoved about a meter away. From where I am, I can only watch. My broken limbs can't support my body, and I'm too weak to even stand up. Instead, all I can do is watch another version of me get skewered before my very eyes. Saber's challenge breaks the silence. Her voice is directed at the second floor, at the top of the broken stairs. Ah, come on. They both don't need to be fakes.
10年ぶりだな、セイバー。お前とはもう少し早く顔合わせをする気であったが、予定が変わった。
It's Gilgamesh, the servant who defeated Berserker and killed Ilya. He ignores Saber's glare and looks down at me and Archer.
さて、理解したか？いかに形を似せ力を似せようが、 所詮は作り物。本物の輝きには及ばない。
He raises a hand, as if about to command an army.
偽物が作り上げた贋作など見るのも汚らわしい。
I guess that's what he could mean by fake.
クズめ。
The weaponry and
貴
everything.
様らのうちには何一つ新作が存在せぬ。他人の真似事だけで出来上がった偽物は解くゴミになるがいい。
He unleashes countless noble phantasms into the hall. An unavoidable torrent falls on us. I count just under 30 noble phantasms. Even if I was still in one piece, there's nothing I can do to defend myself against this assault. Dust fills the air. The hall collapses even further, rocked by explosions. In the middle of it all, I see him, a fluttering red cloak. He runs toward me, looking like a pincushion, and gives me another shove. I watch his red figure fade into the distance. His eyes convey a firm message. You defeat him. He tells me that since he lost to me and I'm going to become a hero of justice, well, this is a villain that I have to defeat. A cloud of dust blocks out my vision. The red cloak sinks into the rubble. I'm sure I saw him before he left. His confident eyes declare, this servant is no match for us. It won't be Saber or Tosuka who defeats him. My other self tells me that Shirou Emiya is the Golden Servant's natural enemy. Yeah, I don't know how we're going to necessarily take him down in this state, though. Like, yeah, we saw it in the Fate route. We were able to put up a fight, Shirou specifically, even during a time where Saber just could not actually fight him. The big surprise was Shirou actually, facing off against him with a projected weapon. My vision clears up. A layer of dust settles over the hall, now covered in a new layer of rubble. Nothing else happens. The Red Knight disappeared after he was buried under the rubble.
ほう、驚いたぞアーチャー。あの傷で他人を救う余裕があったとはな。
Sorry, I was getting a drink, and I don't want to choke on it like I did one time. That was embarrassing. His tone is filled with derision and irony. The man's lips curl into a smirk. He looks down at Archer's bloody remains. Silence falls. Gilgamesh is the strongest being in this place now. One wrong move and we'll follow Archer. Saber's lips are tightly sealed. She's watching for a chance to face the enemy. However, Tosuka loses her temper after losing Archer. Light flies through the air. Tosuka charges a jewel with as much energy as she can and fires pure destructive energy without any modifications. Gilgamesh doesn't even try to dodge it. The attack doesn't leave a scratch on him.
死に損ないを先にするつもりだったのだが、順序が変わったな、女。
The swords floating behind him sentence Tosuka to death. They hurtle toward her at high speed, but Saber arrives even faster to deflect them, protecting her master.
Saber! Lin, 下がって。あの男は危険だ。手を出せば殺されます。
True that.
ほう。今のマスターはその小娘か。よかろう。ならば今の無礼は不問に付す。お前を失っては楽しみが減るからな。
Saber just glares up at our enemy, her invisible sword at the ready.
なぜここにいるアーチャー。近江は前回の聖杯戦争で呼ばれたサーバント。そのあなたがなぜ今回も限界している。
なぜも何もあるまい。前回の戦いが終わった後、我は消えずにこの世に留まっただけだが。
That is actually all it is. Like, everybody in the comments have been telling me that this is just the ability where, yeah, like we were told in a previous episode here, archers can just stick around for a little bit.
そんなバカな。サーバントは聖杯が消えた時点でこの世との接点をなくすはずだ。
そうでもないぞ。もとよりこの世との接点は聖杯ではなくよりしろとなったマスターだ。聖杯はあくまで道を通したに過ぎん。聖杯が消えた後も 魔術師が魔力を提供し続ければこの世にはとどまれる。もっとも聖杯の助力なしでサーバントを維持できるマスターなどそうはいないがな。その点で言えば俺のよりしろは魔力不足ではあった。
ならばどちらにせよあなたがとどまれるはずがない。サーバントを持つことにマスターが耐えられないなら、あなたは召喚者ともども枯渇しているはずだ。
それもやりようであろう。魔術回路が少なければ知識で補うのが魔術師という輩だ。その点で言えば俺のマスターはなかなかに筋金の入った男だった。
Past tense? So his master is no longer alive. Well, yeah. No, Shinji was his master. The fact that the ungovernable Gilgamesh was following Shinji's orders was proof enough of that.
では、あなたのマスターはライダーのマスターと同じように。
ああ、事故で補えなければ他人から奪うのは当然だろう。だが実を言えばそのような手間もいらなかったのだがな。俺は聖杯を浴びた唯一のサーバントだ。この時代における受肉など10年前に済ませている。
Saber stares at him in shock. Yeah, wait. I don't remember being told that specifically in the previous route. Did he actually get reincarnated a bit? Like, was he actually granted the ability to stay because of the Holy Grail? I don't remember that. I don't remember that being a reveal. The mention of 10 years ago seems to pain her.
そう。お前のおかげだぞ。セイバー。あれが何であるか。我は誰よりも熟知している。何しろその心欲をぶちまけられ、中にあるものを見たのだからな。
では、あの時。
ああ、聖杯の正体を理解したのだ。その時に決めた。あれは俺だけが扱うとな。
He speaks to Saber. No, the Golden Servant's decree is directed to all of us.
聖杯をあなたが使うだと。
そう。マスターなどという寄生動物に分け与えてやる義理もあるまい。俺は俺の目的のために聖杯を使おう。
You know, I remember him saying, actually, now that I think about it, he was bathed in the Holy Grail, and I think that is true. Whatever happened, excuse me, 10 years ago, because he's a bit corrupted. I think that was pointed out by Saber, is that he is not who he was necessarily. He has been corrupted by the Holy Grail.
その最大の障害であった召喚者も、残ったものはよりしろにもならぬ魔術師もどきだけだ。俺の望みにはそのなり損ないこそがふさわしい。もっともお前の肉ならば、あるいは完全な聖杯が出来上がるやもしれんが。
The man eyes Tosaka. Tosaka shrinks away and goes a little pale, realizing how dangerous he is. His red eyes are ominous beyond comparison. Goddamn, I keep on trying to say other words. Anyone would feel intensely uncomfortable under their gaze. His eyes are so bizarre that they even scare the unflappable Tosaka.
バカな。聖杯はマスターが得るものだ。我らサーバントでは得られないからこそ、マスターに協力するのだろう。
それこそがおかしな話だ。聖杯に触れられるのはサーバントだけでありながら、聖杯を得られるのはマスターだけだというのか。
しかしそれは
全てはくだらぬざれ言だ。7人のマスターによる聖杯の奪い合い。最後の一人となったマスターのみが聖杯を得る儀式だと。そんなものはただの隠れ蓑に過ぎん。もとより聖杯の恒例など済んでいる。連中は毎回聖杯を用意してから7人のサーバントを呼ぶ。わかるか騎士よ。連中が必要としたのは聖杯ではなく、その中に入るものだ。マスターなど元は我らを呼ぶためだけの回路に過ぎん。魔術師どもはな、聖杯を作りはしたが、その中身を用意できなかった。先ほども言っただろ。事故で補えないのなら、 よそから奪ってくるのが奴らだと聖杯を満たす最高純度の魔力、守護者ともいえる霊長最強の魂こそが奴らが求めたものだ。7人のサーバントとはな、もともと聖杯にくべられる生贄のことらしいぞ。
Saber stares at him in shock. Her eyes try to deny his words. It can't be true. The Holy Grail I saw can't be something this abhorrent, she seems to be telling herself.
驚くことはあるまい。聖杯は魂という本人でなければ制御できぬ力を純粋な魔力に返すろ過器だ。ああ、確かにそれならば願いは叶おう。魔術師どもにとっては永遠に使い切れぬ魔力量だろうからな。故に生贄は多ければ多いほど良い。6人ものサーバントをくべればそれは万能と言えるだろう。聖杯が汲み取ったサーバントは5人。奴らが目指した万能の釜まではあと1人分で十分だ。
それではやはり聖杯はマスターにしか扱えない。聖杯が純粋な魔力の貯蔵庫だというのなら扱えるのは魔術師だけだ。そうだ。持ち主となるマスターさえ優れた術者なら
あらゆる願いを叶えられるか。たわけ、人間風情にそのような奇跡は与えられん。どれほど強大な力を持とうと自滅するのが人間というものだ。
Yeah, isn't that the truth, huh?
だが安心しろセイバー、この聖杯は本物だ。きちんと7人分の英霊を組み込めば必ず原初に到達する。
原初？ちょっと待った。じゃあ聖杯ってまさか。
何者かは知らんが最初にこのルールを敷いた者は間違いなく神域の天才だろうよ。まあしかし俺には関係のない話ではある。俺はそんなものに興味はない。あるのは聖杯の門としての能力だけだ。
聖杯が門だと
10年前だセイバー。あと一歩で聖杯を手に入れるという時俺はお前に阻まれた。聖杯は聖剣によって両断されこぼれ落ちた者は炎となって町を焼き払った。聖杯の真下にいた俺は当然その本流を一身に浴びたのだ。その時に聖杯の正体を知った。実にくだらぬが使い道はある。数ある兵器の中でもあれほど殺人に特化したものはあるまい。あれはあのままでいい。万能の釜になどする必要はない。
兵器、聖杯がサーバントを持って生み出すものが兵器だというのか。アーチャー、
もともと我らとて兵器だろう。あれはそれを突き詰めたものに過ぎん。聖杯とは地獄の門。一度開けば中からは56億もの呪いが溢れ出す。
That's a little bit of a specific number.
琴峰は言っていなかったか。聖杯の名はアンリマユ。
All the evil in the world, huh?
その名の通り全ての人間を食い潰す終わりの泥だと。
Yeah, I can't pronounce that. I don't think that's a regular N. But yeah, I get it. If I recall correctly, that's the name of a devil from Zoroastrianism. It's said to be a ruler of evil who has been fighting the gods for thousands of years. It's depicted as an embodiment of all of humanity's malice, to be a reflection of humanity's goodwill. So why is the Holy Grail named after some ancient Persian demon?
ではあなたの目的は。
そう一層だ。俺は琴峰のように人間をめでようと努める気はない。めでるべきは美しいものだけだ。この世界は楽しいがな、同様にどしがたい。凡白の雑種が生を謳歌するなど王に対する冒涜だ。それでは治める気にもなれん。
バカじゃないのあんた。何が王に対する冒涜よ。 人間が一人もいなくなったらそれこそ王様の意味なんてないじゃない。
死に絶えるのならばそれでよい。自らの罪で消え去るのなら生きる価値などはあるまい。俺が欲しいものは雑種ではない。地獄の中ですら生き延びられる者にこそ支配される価値がある。その点で言えば前回のは落第だったな。あの程度の火で死に絶えるなど今の人間は弱すぎる。
His lips curl up in a smile. For the first time, he looks at me, one of the failures.
この世すべての悪とやらが何者であるかは知らん。だが都合が良いだろ。すべての人間に等しく落ちる死の戸が、人より生まれた人だけを殺す底なしの闇。本来俺がすべき仕事を任せるにはふさわしい猟犬だ。
Gilgamesh raises an arm. Noble phantasms float at the ready behind him, awaiting his command.
では10年前の続きといこう。あの時はくだらぬゴミが混ざったが、こたびはあのようなゴミはおらん。もっともそれ以上にタチが悪いクズが混ざっているようだが。
Wow. Like father, like son, basically, is what he's saying. All of the swords turn to point at me. I try to stand up, but my broken leg won't move the way I want it to. Crap, I can't even block a single one of those swords. Then why did Archer entrust this with me? Or entrust his will to me, he said. Damn, fire likes to follow this guy wherever he goes. But no, this makes sense. He did, Lancer did leave a little bit of a gift. The swords disappear. The golden servant suddenly puts down his arm. He looks up at the ceiling with displeasure and brushes something from his shoulder.
すすで汚れる。命拾いしたな、小僧。
That's really what's going to make you run away? The castle's on fire. I don't know who set it alight, but it seems like a pretty intense blaze. The third floor is already surrounded by flames, and they've reached the second floor. No, that's not what I should be surprised about. He really decided not to fight because his clothes got dirty.
逃げるのですか、アーチャー。
場所を変えるだけだ、セイバー。聖杯は俺の手にある。ことは迅速に済ますのが俺の方針だからな。早々に聖杯を作り、地獄の穴を開けてやろう。
His blonde hair flutters. Gilgamesh walks toward a terrace that isn't on fire.
取り戻したければ早めにしろ。何しろ今回の聖杯は急増の欠陥品だ。急がなければ中身がすべてこぼれてしまうぞ。
His muffled laughter echoes. Then he leaves the burning castle. Sparks have started to dance around the Great Hall, and the ceiling is crumbling by the second. Well, time to make our leave. The formerly ornate castle doesn't resemble itself anymore. Its master gone, it crumbles away without a trace, as if to follow the pale girl. This place is always seeing, like, the wrong end of the stick in this story. Regardless of the story, I guess you could say. But this definitely tells us that we have one more showdown left to go. And of course Shinji's alive. I wouldn't have doubted it, you know. I'm not surprised by him getting out of there. Shinji Mato wanders through the forest, his breathing ragged and bestial. He was headed in a concrete direction, to be clear, but his mental state is utterly lost. With no objective, all he can do is run. Wandering is the only appropriate word to describe his behavior.
くそ、あと少しっていうところで、どいつもこいつも潰しやがって。
What exactly has Shinji's plan been this entire time? He pushes tree branches aside with one arm, splashing through the mud. Shinji heads for the forest exit, his bloodstains marking his trail. Of course, the shoulder wound that Lancer gave him has not healed. He's already lost sensation in his right arm. His wound is red and inflamed, and his arm won't move like a necrotized limb. He trips and stumbles into a tree. It must be difficult running with only one arm. His right arm hangs like dead weight. Then he realizes that a part of his body has become dead weight and starts to laugh. His laugh turns into a coughing fit. It hurts. He feels hot and feverish, perhaps due to the wound. His hazy mind imagines his arm rotting away. Then he starts to hallucinate about all the people around him also rotting away. Not just their arms. All those other idiots should know their place and be hurt even worse than he is. What a lovely personality he's got, huh? He can't stop laughing. The thought makes the pain slightly more bearable. He has a real purpose now. His first goal is to gather arms. He'll take arms from everyone, no exceptions.
そりゃいい。じゃあ、一番初めは決まってる。
He has a really twisted mind, you know? The girl who wouldn't do what he said. She's the one that he likes the most. And he can't stand the thought of her looking prettier than him.
待っててよ、どうさか。すぐに僕以下にしてやるからさ。
Shinji mumbles a laugh and then looks up. That servant is standing in front of him. When did he get there?
お前。
He stares at the servant. The golden servant looks down at Shinji the way that one might look at livestock.
傷を負ったのか。ひどいな。それではさぞかし痛かろう。
Yeah, probably. His tone is utterly disinterested. Shinji's face distorts. He glares at the man in front of him, failing to realize that the servant's words might have, or what the servant's words might have implied.
痛かろうだと。誰のせいだと思っているんだ。お前が間抜けだからランサーなんかにやられたんだぞ。番犬役もできないくせに偉そうなことを言うな。
Shinji rages at the servant. The golden servant nods. I don't know what it is my mind thinks I'm reading. Unconcerned.
その傷はランサーにつけられたのか。では、あのマスターを逃がしたのは奴だったのだな。
ああ、そうだよ。お前がグズだから遠坂を逃がしちまったんだ。あんな死に損ないに取られるなんて思い出しただけで吐き気がする。
そうか。それは残念だ。
何を落ち着き払ってんだよ。遠坂がいなけりゃ聖杯が手に入らないんだろ。さあ、お前のせいで全部台無しだ。
Well, Shinji's gonna die.
これからどうすれば。
This is it for him.
安心しろ。予定に狂いはない。聖杯は作り出せる。
The servant speaks emotionlessly. Shinji doesn't realize that the servant's red eyes aren't even looking at him.
どうやって。いくら聖杯があってもその器がないとできないって琴峰も言ってたじゃないか。あのガキの心臓だけじゃ意味がない。あれは優れた魔術回路につなげないと聖杯にならないんだろ。
Shinji approaches his servant and berates him for his incompetence. The golden servant nods again.
だから問題ない。より代になるマスターなら、ここにもう一人いるじゃないか。
And then he casually thrusts his arm out. Haha. Goodbye, Shinji. Shinji doesn't realize what the noise was until the very end. His stomach feels strange. When he looks down, he sees a servant's arm. The fist is embedded in his body. It doesn't hurt, nor is there any blood. The servant's arm sinks deep into his stomach, as if it's performing some outlandish spiritual surgery.
聖杯が欲しいのだろう。ならばくれてやろう。大事なものなら、二度と手放すな。
Blood vessels swell. That's a lot of wriggling. He feels something alien swarming and writhing inside him. And then he ceases to be Shinji Mato. That's lovely. Very lovely. He convulses. There's just a swollen hunk of meat there now. It has no clear shape. It's made up of only naked muscles and blood vessels, sudden growths of meat, and short-lived decaying meat. His mind breaks, unable to withstand the discomfort of something wriggling inside him and the pain of endless growth and decay. The servant watches for a while and then departs as if nothing remarkable happened.
醜いな。力ある魔術師ならば変貌することもないだろうが。
Chains extend out. The chain of the heavens appears in midair to bind the infinitely expanding and rotting mass of flesh. Currently, it's teetering between growth and decay, but the Holy Grail should quickly learn how to use its host. Once that happens, the growth should greatly exceed the decay. At this rate, the Holy Grail will soon be complete.
ゲテモノの方が味は良い。何より、お前ならばふさわしい泥を吐き出すだろう、シンジ。
The servant chortles. In his shadow, the mass of flesh repeats "help me" in a no longer human voice. I do feel bad for Shinji in a way because he really is fucking stupid. His personality is awful. He doesn't think about things. He thinks about himself. There's a lot of problems with Shinji, and I feel bad because of that. Well, we're back home.
傷はもう痛まないのですか？
I didn't think we'd be back here anytime soon.
そっちの方は問題ない。至って健康だし、中身だってまだ使える。
そうですか。それならいいのですが。
She ends the conversation, but it seems something else is still on her mind. It's been an hour since we've returned. We both have something on our minds, but nothing is said. We don't have time to be glad that Tosuka is safe for now, nor do we have the time to celebrate our reunion. We are still in a dire situation. The last servant, Gilgamesh. As long as he holds the Holy Grail, we have no choice but to fight him. We don't have a plan to break out of this predicament. The more we think about it, the more we are hit with the feeling of despair. Of course, we wouldn't have anything to say to each other. However, that's not the only reason we're silent. It's probably because this is the last. This will be the last time we're heading into battle. I thought this last time was the last time we're going to be heading into battle, but nope. It doesn't matter what's the result, win or lose, what awaits us will be the same. The Holy Grail War will end here. After that, the three of us won't be able to talk like this again. Thinking back, we've only spent 10 short days together. We were thrust into one happening after another during these 10 days, so much so that we don't even have time to think about what happened yesterday. But it's not all bad memories during these 10 days. Now thinking back, there are irreplaceable memories that I've made in these 10 days. And that's the reason we are not saying anything. We don't want to admit our time together is ending, and we're swallowing the words that we want to say. Tosuka, Saber, and myself all have the answers in our heads. The reason we won't say it aloud, well, it's because we don't want to end what we had in the manner we have now.
じゃあ私から言うけど。
Thank you.
私はアーチャーの仇を討つ。裏切られたし、ひどいやつだったけど、あいつはシローだったから。
Tosuka said so with determination in her voice. We will face Gilgamesh. She has said it clearly that we will end this fight.
シローはセイバーにはどうしたって付き合ってもらうけど、マスター、あの金ピカ、シローを目の敵にしてるみたいだし、戦うのなら真っ先に狙われると思うけど。
Maybe she's being considerate. She's even given me a reason to back out. But I have my answer already. I can't leave Gilgamesh alone. Also, I have a hunch that the Holy Grail he's trying to use is not something that should exist. I'm glad that even so this has gone in a completely different direction, like This has completely spiraled out of control compared to the Fate route. It really has. It is just so nutty. But at the very end, we know that the Holy Grail is something that we cannot allow to be formed. Even so, that is Saber's wish. Tosaka, or Rin, she's been, aiming for it as well. That's a huge thing for her, a personal goal. Shirou is just, here. But here at the end, the idea is still the same. That the Holy Grail, it's not what we thought. We gotta get rid of it. But there's another reason why I can't back out. You will defeat him. He left behind those words and chose to keep me alive instead of himself. The same man whose existence is to deny Shirou Emiya. Now that I have made him admit defeat, there's only one path left for me to take.
奴を倒す。自分で戦うと決めたんだ。最後までそれを守らなくちゃ。あいつになんて文句を言われるかわからないだろう。
そう。あなたがそう決めたのなら止めないわよ。
ああ、頼む。それに、聖杯は放っておけない。聖杯が奴の言う通りのものだとしたら、そんなものは壊した方がいい。
Saber has been fighting for the sole purpose of gaining the Holy Grail. That hesitation and regret are not something that can be easily erased. Even then.
承知しています。聖杯がギルガメッシュの言う通りのものならば、それはこの世にあってはならないものです。
She agrees to our plan by sacrificing her own wish.
よし。
I stand up from the floor and start walking towards the kitchen. I reach for my equipment in the kitchen. I put on my apron and roll up my sleeves, getting ready for a different kind of battle.
シロ、何かいいアイデアでも思いついたの？
Well, we gotta eat before we go into, to fight.
ね。いや、飯作ろうと思って。二人とも腹減ってるだろ？
Ring definitely has to be. Well, actually, probably both. It's been a while since we've eaten. Ignoring the dumbfounded two, I start making preparations for dinner.
話は決まったんだ。なら、あとはいつも通りにしよう。3人で夕食をとって、その後で奴を倒しに行けばいい。
I take out the bowl and frying pan. I will use up everything I have in the fridge. There's no need to hold back. We're going to have a feast.
そうですね。いつも通り夕食を迎えましょう。
そうね。じゃあ私も手伝おっかな。セイバーはお風呂沸かしてきて。
The heavy atmosphere we had just moments ago is gone. The living room feels brighter and livelier. A night with the three of us together that will never come again. But in order to make it feel like any other day, we do our best to make sure we can enjoy our dinner in the most lively way possible. I remember seeing somewhere that apparently there's like I don't know if it's a spin-off sequel, it is something. And it's like a cooking, story or something. I don't know. I didn't look too deeply into it because I really want to avoid spoilers. And spin-offs and sequels and prequels, they can have spoilers just right there, like in your face. But I just remember seeing something about Shirou, these two, and I think Sakura, they were like cooking or something. So yeah, cooking is very important in this story. And after we finish and clean up our Western and Japanese mixed style dinner, we resume our strategizing session.
では、リンは竜道寺に聖杯があると。
ええ、前から今回の恒例場所は竜道寺だと睨んでたのよ。キャスター対策で監視役の使い魔を放ってたんだけど、それもついさっき潰れたし。あの金ピカ、竜道寺に陣取ってると見て間違いないわ。
I will say on the bright side, compared to the previous route, we don't have two enemies that we have to fight. Actually, it's going to become a bit of a 3v1 instead of a 1v1 and then another 1v1 that's, kind of fucked on both sides.
竜道寺ですか。厄介ですね。あの山には山門からでしか侵入できない。当然ギルガメッシュも山門で待ち構えているでしょう。
そうね。けど逆に言えば位置が特定できて助かるわ。あいつも厄介だけど、 聖杯の召喚を止める方が先決だもの。セイバーにはあいつの足止めをしてもらって、その隙に私たちで聖杯を壊すっていうのが理想でしょうね。
待った、聖杯を壊すってそれはセイバーじゃないとできないんじゃないのか。俺、
そうね、私たちに呼び出された聖杯を壊すことはできないけど、その前に聖杯の器を壊すことはできる。
We'd get to kill the Shinji meat.
正確には聖杯が発動する前に停止させるってことだけど。
聖杯を停止させるってどういう意味だ。
あんまり考えたくないんだけど、今までの話を総合すると、聖杯はイリアスフィールの心臓でしょ。けど聖杯っていうのはイリアスフィールの体、魔術回路とセットだと思う。あいつはイリアスフィールが聖杯になることを嫌がって核となる器官だけを引き抜いたとするとね、聖杯として機能させるためにはもう一度魔術師の体に埋め込まないといけない。残ったマスターは私とあと一人だけ。私がここにいる以上、あいつが聖杯基盤に選ぶのは
シンジってことか。けどシンジには
魔術回路がないって言うんでしょ。きっとそんなの構わないのよ、あいつは。
Well, it's going to work, or it's going to be forced to work.
不完全な聖杯を作りたがってるんだから、不完全なマスターに埋め込むでしょうね。血が絶えたって言っても、魔党の血族には遺伝的に魔術回路の跡があるし、イリアスフィールの心臓なんて、そんな核融合炉をつけられたら閉じてた回路だって力ずくで開かれるわ。
In that case, what we need to do first is to separate Shinji from the Grail. I don't understand what it means to become the foundation for the Grail, but we must stop it if we can still make it.
ですが、それをギルガメッシュが許すとは思えない。聖杯を止めるということはギルガメッシュを倒すということではないのですか。
そうだな。あいつが聖杯を守っているのは明白なんだから、まずあいつをどうにかしないと話にならない。
そうね。けどあいつ山門で私たちを待ち受けてると思うのよ。私たちの最大の戦力であるセイバーが山門からしか入れない以上、それ以外の突入経路はないんだもの。だから。
なるほど。私は単身で山門から突入する。リンとシローはその隙に裏から竜道寺に侵入するのですね。マスターである2人なら竜道寺の結界も意味はない。
そういうこと。セイバーには頑張ってもらうしかないんだけど、とにかくあいつの足止めをして、私たちも聖杯を止め次第すぐに駆けつけるから。
You know, with whatever help that we can provide.
待った、それは無茶だ。セイバーじゃあいつにはかなわない。
Not necessarily. Saber did get a little bit of a level up. Actually, somebody pointed out, I think 2 episodes ago, that Saber's stats that are shown in the servants file for her aren't actually accurate. They should have been boosted after Rin became her master.
足止めなんてできないぞ、きっと。
何よ、やけにあいつの肩を持つわね、シロ。
全くです。確かに彼は強敵だが、それでも防戦に徹すれば私とて簡単には敗れません。その根拠を言ってください、シロ。
いや、そういう意味じゃないんだ。俺が見た限りあいつよりセイバーの方が強い。これは絶対だ。かけてもいい。
ではなぜそのようなことを言うのです。
だから英霊である限りあいつには勝てないんだ。そうだな。もしあいつがセイバーと同じ宝具しか持ってないのなら、セイバーはまず負けない。剣士としての能力は比べるまでもないんだから。けどあいつの強さはそういう個人としての強さじゃないんだ。どんなに優れた兵士でも戦争そのものには勝てないだろ。
I mean, we saw it in the previous route as well. Saber's going to try and come at him with her own Noble Phantasm. All he has to do is pull out a Noble Phantasm that can easily deflect her shit, that can get around whatever she's attacking. Her weakness, basically, is all he needs to actually go for.
あいつはそういう類の英霊だ。対抗するには同じ戦争じゃないと飲み込まれる。
つまり シロは私と彼とでは相性が悪いと言っているのですね。
ああ、そういうこと。だから登坂、何の策もなしでセイバーとあいつは戦わせられない。せめて突破口ぐらいないと勝ち目がないんだ。
そんなこと言われなくても分かってるわよ。だから今からそれを考えようって言ってるんじゃない。
ではリンには策があるのですね。
そう都合よく思いつくはずないでしょ。シローの言った通り、あいつの宝具は戦争だもの。戦争っていうのは戦力をどれだけ整えたかで勝敗が決まるものでしょ。いかに上手に兵器を扱えるかじゃなくて、どれだけ相手と同じ戦力。
なんだよ登坂、いきなり黙り込んで。
そっか、だから目の敵にしてたんだ。そうよね、自分の宝具を持たない英霊なら原点になる武器さえ存在しない。
Exactly.
待てよ、それってつまり。
リン、どう
No,
したのです
I'm with her. It's like what I said
いきなり私の背後に
earlier.
回って。
なんでもない。ちょっと考え事するから二人で勝手に会議してて。
I actually don't know what's bothering her necessarily right now, but what she said is accurate. Saber and I look at each other. Well, if Tosaka has an idea, then it's better we leave her alone.
ではそうなるとアーチャーとの一騎打ちは避けた方がいいということですね。
Honestly, it's possible that Shiro's the one that needs to go in.
ですが私とてリンのバックアップがある。彼女からの供給があれば封印していた私の宝具も問題なく使用できます。それならば彼が宝具を使用する前に倒せる可能性もあるのですが。
Honestly, actually, what I just said might be, the direction we absolutely must go for. Shiro's powerful. He's not necessarily up to a, heroic spirit, not even close or a guardian, but his future could be that of Archer. So he has the potential, and he's got some interesting abilities to boot. But that also means he doesn't have a noble phantasm. Shirou doesn't have a weakness necessarily, something that can go against his absolute trump card.
セイバーの
Because he doesn't have a trump card.
それって風王結界じゃなくて。
はい、風王結界は鞘に過ぎません。リンの許しがあれば私は自らの聖剣を使用できます。前回聖杯を破壊したのもその剣です。
そうか。じゃあそのあたりは遠坂次第ってことか。
そうですね。聖剣を使用すれば私だけでなくリンにも大きな負担がかかります。
だってさ遠坂、お前の魔力量どのくらい余裕があるんだ？
I think she's in her own train of thought here.
魔力量ってなんで私の考えてることわかるのよ、あんた。
Never mind, we're actually on the same page, kind of.
なんでもない。私のことは放っておけって言ったでしょ。セイバーの宝具のことならちゃんとわかってるわ。言っとくけど、私とセイバーじゃ撃てて2回よ。1回は聖杯に使うんだから、ギルガメッシュとの戦いに使うって言うなら1回だけだからね。
セイバー、遠坂はそう言ってるけどどうだ？
わかりません。アーチャーがあらゆる宝具を持つというのなら私の宝具と拮抗するものも所有しているでしょう。そうなればあとはどちらの宝具が優れているかという戦いになる。
そうか。結局宝具の競い合いになるのは否めないのか。
If it ends up like that, Gilgamesh will have the upper hand. I won't let Saber walk into a reckless fight like that, but... Damn it, I can't put my thoughts together. By the way, what exactly is Tosaka doing? She's been acting weird. I say that because she's been looking in my direction and then quickly looking away.
おい遠坂、言いたいことがあるなら言えよ。アイデアあるんだろ？
ないわよ。こんなところで言えるわけないでしょ、バカ。
I mean, you could, whatever it is. I don't think anything needs to be kept a secret here. I don't understand what made her say something like that, and then quickly look away as if something weird is on my face.
シロ、
いや、なんでもない。あいつは変なんで、ほっといて話を進めよう。
And so we're continuing our strategy meeting with just the two of us. But without Tosuka, the brain of our operation, we can't really think of an effective strategy to overcome our predicament.
ないんならさっきの案でいいでしょ。決行は夜明け前だから、それまで各自自分の部屋で十分に休みを取っておくように。
Tosuka has unilaterally decided the direction for us. Alright, I guess that works. Alrighty, gamers. We'll wrap it up on that note for this episode. And I guess in the next one, we'll actually be approaching, for surezies this time, the final fight. See, I thought it was going to be with the confrontation against Castor and co. Nope. And then I thought it was going to be the confrontation with Archer over at Ilya's, broken-ass mansion. Nope. We're going right back up to the temple for yet another gotta stop the Holy Grail mission type of deal. Which is fine. It makes sense. So that is the direction it seems like we're heading in for the next episode. Thank you all for watching this. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy.